The Armenian Genocide stands as one of the darkest chapters of the 20th century. From 1915 to 1917, the Ottoman Empire, led by the Young Turks, embarked on a systematic campaign of annihilation against its Armenian population. This genocide resulted in the deaths of an estimated 1.5 million Armenians. They were subjected to forced deportations, massacres, and torture, leaving an indelible scar on the Armenian people. Armenians, a Christian minority, faced escalating discrimination and persecution. The rise of Turkish nationalism further fueled animosity towards Armenians. The Young Turks, who seized power in 1908, viewed Armenians as an obstacle to their vision of a pan-Turkic state. The Armenian Genocide was a calculated act of state-sponsored extermination. Following the arrests of April 24th, the genocide unfolded with horrifying speed and brutality. Armenians throughout the Ottoman Empire were subjected to mass arrests, forced deportations, and systematic massacres. Men were often separated from their families and killed outright, while women, children, and the elderly were driven on death marches into the Syrian desert. The deportations were carried out with unimaginable cruelty. Armenians were forcibly expelled from their homes, given little to no time to gather their belongings, and herded like cattle onto trains and caravans. Many died from starvation, dehydration, and disease during these forced marches, their bodies left to rot along the desolate roads. Those who survived the journey faced a grim fate in concentration camps, where they endured further atrocities. The systematic massacres of Armenians were a testament to the barbarity of the Ottoman regime. Armenians were rounded up in churches, schools, and public squares, where they were shot, burned alive, or hacked to death with swords and bayonets. Entire villages were wiped off the map, their inhabitants slaughtered without mercy. The perpetrators, often fueled by religious hatred and nationalist fervor, showed no remorse for their actions. The Armenian Genocide was not only a campaign of physical annihilation, but also a systematic assault on Armenian culture and identity. Churches and monasteries were desecrated or destroyed, ancient manuscripts and artifacts were looted or burned, and the Armenian language and cultural practices were suppressed. The Ottoman government aimed to erase all traces of Armenian presence within its borders. The Armenian Genocide, though largely ignored by the international community at the time, had profound and lasting consequences. It left an unhealed wound in the collective memory of the Armenian people, who continue to grapple with the trauma of their ancestors. The genocide also had a significant impact on the Armenian diaspora, as survivors scattered across the globe, carrying with them the memory of the atrocities they had witnessed. The modern-day ramifications of the Armenian Genocide are still felt today. The Turkish government, the successor state to the Ottoman Empire, continues to deny the genocide, claiming that the events of 1915 to 1917 were part of a civil war, and that Armenian casualties were exaggerated. This denial, despite overwhelming historical evidence to the contrary, has hindered reconciliation between Armenians and Turks, and fueled tensions between the two countries. The unresolved legacy of the Armenian Genocide is also evident in the ongoing conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan over the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh. The conflict, which reignited in recent years, has seen both sides accused of human rights abuses and war crimes. The specter of the Armenian Genocide hangs heavy over the region, reminding the world of the dangers of unaddressed historical grievances. The international community has a moral imperative to acknowledge and condemn the Armenian Genocide. Recognition is not merely a symbolic gesture, but a crucial step towards preventing future atrocities. By confronting the past, we can learn from its mistakes and work towards a future where such horrors are never repeated. The struggle for recognition of the Armenian Genocide is a testament to the resilience and determination of the Armenian people. For over a century, Armenians worldwide have fought tirelessly to keep the memory of their ancestors alive and to demand justice for the crimes committed against them. Their efforts have resulted in growing international recognition of the genocide, with numerous countries, international organizations, and scholars acknowledging the historical truth of the events of 1915 to 1917. The Armenian Genocide serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked nationalism, religious intolerance, and the human capacity for evil. It is a story of unimaginable suffering, but also one of courage, resilience, and the enduring power of memory. The Armenian people, despite enduring one of the most horrific crimes in human history, have preserved their culture, language, and identity. The fight for recognition of the Armenian genocide is not just about the past, it is about the present and the future. By acknowledging the atrocities committed against the Armenian people, we affirm our commitment to human rights, justice, and the prevention of genocide. It is a reminder that silence in the face of evil is complicity, and that we must never forget the lessons of history. The Armenian genocide, though a century old, continues to resonate deeply in the 21st century. It is a story that demands to be told, remembered, and learned from. Only by confronting the darkness of the past can we hope to build a brighter future for all.